What if I told you that one man, a person most Americans couldn't name if their life depended on it, controls virtually every luxury brand you've ever heard of? A man who rose from relative obscurity to become the richest person on the planet, worth over $200 billion, by building an empire so vast and powerful that it dictates what the global elite consider valuable? Meet Bernard Arnault, the man who transformed luxury from boutique businesses into the most profitable industry on earth, the ruthless strategist behind Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Moët and Chandon, and over 70 other premium brands that dominate the world's wealthiest consumers. We're going to reveal exactly how this engineering graduate from a middle-class French family systematically conquered the global luxury market, earned the nickname the Wolf in Cashmere, and built LVMH into a $500 billion behemoth that makes more money selling expensive bags, watches, and champagne than most countries' entire GDPs. This is the story of how Bernard Arnault hacked the psychology of wealth, turned heritage into profit, and rewrote the rules of business forever. Bernard Arnault wasn't born into the glittering world of high fashion and champagne. He entered the world in 1949 in Roubaix, an industrial textile town in northern France that was as far from glamorous as you could get. His father, Jean-Léon, was a civil engineer who built a modest construction company called Ferret Savinel. His mother, Marie-Joseph, was a concert pianist. This early exposure to the aspirational power of luxury brands would later prove fateful. Young Bernard wasn't groomed for fashion. Instead, he followed his father's practical footsteps, graduating from École Polytechnique, France's elite engineering university, in 1971. While his classmates dreamed of building bridges and machines, Arnault was calculating a different kind of architecture, one built on human desire and status. After graduation, Arnault joined his father's construction company. By age 25, he was running the firm. But unlike his father, Arnault wasn't content building structures. He wanted to build empires. He convinced his father to shift from construction to real estate development, a higher margin business that gave him his first taste of creating value through transformation. By the late 1970s, he was president of the company, overseeing roughly 1,000 employees. In the early 1980s, he orchestrated a series of deals that would forever change his trajectory. He sold off the construction business and the real estate division to France's CGE for a substantial profit. 1984, France is struggling economically. The socialist government is privatizing failing companies left and right. Among them is Boussac Saint-Frère, a bankrupt textile conglomerate that happened to own a struggling fashion house called Christian Dior. Most business people saw a dying company drowning in debt. Arnault saw something different. He saw a diamond buried in coal. With the help of Lazard banker Antoine Bernheim, Arnault raised $80 million, including $15 million of his own money, and won the auction for Boussac. The symbolic price? 1 French franc. What happened next earned him his first nickname, Le Terminator. Arnault immediately laid off 9,000 of Boussac's 24,000 employees. He sold off almost all the peripheral divisions, the textile mills, the paper factories, everything that wasn't directly tied to luxury. He kept only 2 jewels, Christian Dior and the Paris department store Le Bon Marché. The business world was shocked by his cold calculation, but Arnault understood something they didn't. The value wasn't in the factories or the workforce. It was in the name, the brand, the heritage. He later recalled a telling anecdote. While riding in a New York taxi, he asked the driver if he knew who the president of France was. The driver didn't. But when Arnault mentioned Dior, the driver's eyes lit up with recognition. He could not name the president, but he knew Dior, Arnault would later say. This was his revelation. Luxury brands transcend borders, politics, and economic cycles. They speak directly to human desire, and desire is the most powerful economic force in the world. By 1987, Dior was profiting over $100 million on nearly $2 billion in revenue. The 1 franc investment had yielded a 1,000-fold return, but Arnault was just getting started. In 1987, 2 of France's most prestigious luxury companies, Louis Vuitton and Moët Hennessy, merged to create LVMH. The merger created the world's largest luxury group. Arnault, now with substantial capital from his Boussac restructuring, was invited by Louis Vuitton's Henri Racamier to invest in the new group. What Racamier didn't realize was that he had just invited a wolf into his henhouse. Arnault moved with calculated precision. First, he teamed with Guinness plc to create a holding company, injecting $1.6 billion for a 24% stake in LVMH. Then he doubled down, spending another $600 million to increase his direct stake by 13.5%. By 1989, Arnault had become LVMH's largest shareholder. In a series of boardroom maneuvers that financial journalists still study today, he managed to force out Moët, the co-founder of Louis Vuitton, from management. The business world was stunned. Arnault had just executed one of the most audacious takeovers in French corporate history. The press dubbed him the Wolf in Cashmere, a predator with refined taste. With LVMH under his control, Arnault now possessed some of the most valuable luxury brands in the world: Louis Vuitton, Moët and Chandon, Hennessy, and Christian Dior. But rather than resting on these laurels, he used them as a foundation for an even grander vision. The 1990s became Arnault's decade of conquest. With LVMH generating substantial cash flow, he went on an acquisition spree that would reshape the entire luxury landscape. In 1990, he brought Givenchy into LVMH. In 1993, he acquired Kenzo. By 1997, he had full control of Loewe. He added French brands Celine and Berluti. He expanded into retail by absorbing DFS Group duty-free stores and Sephora. For each acquisition, Arnault followed a similar playbook: identify heritage brands with global recognition, buy them, often when they're struggling, infuse them with investment and star designers, then leverage LVMH's scale and distribution to amplify their reach. By the late 1990s, Arnault had transformed LVMH into a multi-industry luxury titan. The group absorbed Christian Lacroix, Tag Heuer, Makeup Forever, and secured full ownership of Guerlain by 2002. The 2000s brought even bolder moves. In 2003, LVMH secured majority control of Fendi. In 2011, it bought 52% of Bulgari for about $5.2 billion, giving LVMH a significant foothold in high jewelry and watches. In 2016, LVMH made its first major German acquisition, buying 80% of Rimowa luggage for €640 million. Arnault even put his son Alexandre in a leadership role there, a move that foreshadowed his dynastic ambitions. Then, in late 2019, Arnault announced his biggest deal yet: the acquisition of American jeweler Tiffany & Company for $16.2 billion, the largest takeover in luxury history. After pandemic-related disputes, the deal finally closed in January 2021. Today, LVMH controls approximately 75 brands spanning 6 divisions. Its fashion and leather division alone includes Louis Vuitton, Dior, Fendi, Celine, Kenzo, and Loewe. The wines and spirits branch has Moët and Chandon, Dom Pérignon, Veuve Clicquot, Hennessy Cognac, and Glenmorangie whiskey. The scale is staggering. By 2021, LVMH's market value reached $329 billion, making it Europe's most valuable company. In April 2023, it became the first European company to surpass a $500 billion market cap. Arnault's LVMH now generates roughly 86 billion euros in annual revenue and employs about 213,000 people worldwide. But the question remains: how did he do it? What's the secret formula behind Arnault's unprecedented success? Unlike tech billionaires who plaster their names on everything, Arnault maintains a low personal profile. "All I'm interested in is promoting my brands, never myself," he once said. His business philosophy combines seemingly contradictory elements: creativity and commerce, tradition and innovation, exclusivity and global reach. "My work is to help innovators and designers understand that the success of their creativity is in large part based on the success of their products," he explained in 1999. Creativity, yes, but executed in a way that people like and can use. Arnault hires visionary designers like John Galliano and Marc Jacobs, but ensures their creations sell globally. "Money is just a consequence," he often says. "If you do your job well, the profitability will come." Unlike most CEOs obsessed with quarterly results, Arnault thinks in decades, even centuries. He once quipped that he will still be drinking Dom Pérignon in a century, underscoring his belief in timeless luxury. This long-term vision helps LVMH weather economic downturns. Between 1989 and 2023, LVMH's stock returned approximately 13% per year, versus just 3% for the broader market. Bernard Arnault's transformation from an engineering graduate to luxury's king represents one of the most remarkable business stories of our time. What do you think about Bernard Arnault's methods? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about the powerful forces shaping our world.